really sure what's supposed to happen now. Maybe a question and answer or something for the Q&A with the band. Is that supposed to maybe happen? I'm not sure if they're wanting to do that or ready to do that. I'm sure we could persuade them.
Yeah, I will. It's a good excuse to stay around and drink more.
Yeah, perfect. There you go. See, somebody will answer and question people. So, I mean, I don't know if Courtney, Peter would like to come up here or stay put and we can sort of show the questions out to them.
Yeah, Z, are you doing?
There we go. There comes Courtney.
That was the party that you missed.
Yeah, I know. Thanks.
You were really hungover.
I
guess we don't really need those, do we? Okay, questions. Anyone with a question? Anyone want to know anything? What I was saying is our amps are like that big. And we were just, carrying around. But they didn't really film them. I guess they thought it was embarrassing how small our amps were. Don't check the amps back in there again. Don't check this. And then we didn't edit it in this order. Okay.
Well, and we didn't edit the thing in this order, so it starts out on the stage at Dante's with this giant wedge, the monitor that we're not using, and it kind of looks professional. You can't tell that we're using a small amp, so I guess we'll have to ask the guys to put more shots of the amps or something.
Well, there just needs to be an intro too that sort of explains to people what the whole thing is.
Right, get in, get out.
Why
no one
it
gets
sounds so bizarre and the whole point of the thing. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so we'll do that.
We learned a few things.
What else? The point actually is just to do something, as opposed to another day of doing nothing. And what's really funny is we set these things up because these are when you smoke a lot of pot. These are the kinds of things that you think of, and then yeah, and then you go yeah, and then oh my God, you know what else we do? Oh my God, then we can do that. Well, then you have to do it, and a couple weeks later, after when you're like, emailing, phone calls, like, God damn it, and you're like stressing out. Are we gonna get together or not? We gotta practice this thing. You guys, this is gonna be stupid. Oh my God! And all of a sudden, you're like, why do we do this? Oh, that's right, to just do something.
Love it.
But it's always, by the time you get through all that work and everything, it's just so fun to do anything. It is unbelievable, and you're doing it, and it's just crazy. And then you just do it, and sometimes you suck at it and fix it later, or whatever, but...
And one of the things that, when we came up with this, we got to the point of to rehearsal and realized we had no idea how you actually can just show up on a street corner and play without, how are we going to amplify this without plugging things in? How do you really do a pop-up show? And Nathan Jr. was standing there when we did it, and he happens to collect battery-powered amps.
Yeah, that's his thing. I was thinking that what we should have done is actually have that gear exactly up here, and that's what our friends should have played through. But I didn't think of it till...
I could go get it.
Yeah, you guys ever want to do it again? So that was my favorite thing ever. I know, we really need to play Louis, don't we?
Rick Brainer is gonna... Brainer, you gonna play the flute part and stuff?
Where's Highway?
Okay, I think is this a Von Trapp family singers 12-string? This Hans? Hans?
No, that's
Han
mine.
Solo? For me, it's Han Solo. It's a big Han Solo.
I think that's fine.
What inspired the original record? Okay, all of the records are kind of the same record over and over again with different production. It's like the 7 feelings I have in 12 or 13 combinations, and then whatever they used to call it, all records are the same record. It's Courtney's Loves and Losses. volumes 1 through 6, whatever. So that's what inspired the songs. But we were traveling a lot of the time internationally, and no matter whether we were hanging out with like Blur or with, college kids or high school dropouts that played in bands in Philly or, wherever. Everybody was listening to Bob Dylan's Desire and Dre 2000 and all this kind of, D'Angelo and it was just all about this dry 70s kind of sound. And then, and so that's kind of what we wanted to make was, this kind of heavy acoustic guitar, tight, thing. And then we used a lot of English, because for me the sound, the actual, what does this thing sound like is always kind of the most important thing. The songs are just my weird little trip or whatever, and then what does the record sound like? I was listening to a lot of incredibly embarrassing music made by grown men for 11-year-old boys who hate their parents. Okay? That's what we were listening to, and it usually sucked really bad. Occasionally something would come on, and the way it hit the speakers was just massive. It was just like, God, this is just great. What is this? And he'd go, the soundtracks again, dude. And we were in New York, so I called Cal and I said, who is it? D. Sardi. So I called and got D. Sardi, and they're oh, Anthrax D. Sardi. Courtney. Sure. Fine. You can have D. Sardi, I'm sure, for cheap. And so we did, D. Sardi is like a big Brooklyn guy, it's a huge, big, young kind of tough guy, shaved head, pants down to you, big old kind of big engineer boots, walked like this, 6'3", never shaves, and Dave Sardi, he puts his feet up on this $250,000 mixing board with his big boots up on. He goes, "This is how I like to mix," and he goes, listens to each track and finally, as I like that one. I just like that you wait until I find one track that makes a hair stand up on the back of my neck. And that's it, that's it. And he's actually less Sylvester Stallone than I'm doing. But, so we got him for, nickels on the dollar. And he made it sound amazing. All his acoustic guitar, all these pretty harmonies, and he made it sound like, like good wood and bone and muscle and sinew kind of, gorgeous record. And it just didn't sound all, kind of sissy and trying to be professional and, that kind of English thing of the day that those bands had back then. I think it was called dad rock. Because we don't have enough stuff to plug in.
Here are, yeah, right there.
Okay, we don't have enough straps?
Maloney, go get Hans.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah.
You can straighten your mic.
Okay. It's so hard. I wasn't playing tonight, so I was drinking instead. Okay. Turn it down a little bit. Oh, Lou Reed, I can't believe it. I think that really does connect with me more than other passings. It's a little more like, whoa, that's a very kind of recent influence in my life. That is not somebody I listened to when I was 9. That is like dropping acid in college, and then, even then, not really until Pete moved back from New York and we put this band together. That is when I really sort of wrapped myself into the Lou Reed world. And that is the length of one band, our band. So that feels pretty recently. So that kind of is like, geez, is that what it felt like when Elvis died or something? Okay, so Rickles, you got the... So yeah, that's called, Tony, this song is called Blue Weed.